Hello everyone, welcome back to I Can. I'm your host Dylan Henry, and happy Thanksgiving or happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating today. I hope you all are safe and you're enjoying your time with your family. Now, today's episode, we're going to be going over Choki Motobu, Tatsuo Shimabuku's third sensei, and this guy was kind of a beast, so let's just get straight into it. So Motobu was born around 1870-1871 in Shuri, Okinawa, and passed away in 1944. He is often considered one of the greatest fighters of all time, and he traveled all over the world fighting, basically just fighting. He fought whenever he could just to keep refining his skills and keep refining what he got taught. In fact, there's a story that he fought off over 25 men just to save his friend, and even though some of them ran away just from the sheer prowess, it's just impressive that it was one man versus 25. And that just gives you the kind of impression of who Motobu really was. Like, what was his physique, what was he like? So Motobu began training in around 12 years old under the Shurite master Itoso Anko. He would train alongside his older brother Choki Motobu, who was said to be one of two people to have ever beaten Shoki in kumite or sparring. And he would kind of use this kind of rivalry with his older brother to kind of keep spurring him to keep training and getting more and more proficient in karate and meet all different types of karate masters. In fact, he would soon learn under Matsumura Kosaku when Motobu was about 19 years old. And Kosaku was a teacher of the Tomari Te style. And pretty much all of these teachings Motobu would be incorporating into his Jisen. Now, he would spend many years refining his techniques fighting in the streets of Naha's red light district Sujimaki. And these kind of street matches were called Kake Damashi. And Motobu never lost a single fight. He used these fights as a way to test his techniques that he would learn, and he would change them to be a bit more effective. Now, he would keep going out and learning so many different techniques, and around 1920, he moved to Japan and partook in judo versus boxing matches. And despite being elderly 50 years old, he was very successful. His most famous match was in 1925 against a European boxer, and the crowds were astonished that Motobu managed to knock out this boxer with one punch. He became famous in Japan's martial arts circles, and eventually his influence would spread all over Japan and Okinawa. Despite his combative history, he was actually a big believer in only practicing martial arts when you absolutely needed to. His Jisen Kenpo, or his philosophy of karate, revolved around his real-life stories. There was a story where he would get into fights with other people, but there was one story where he got into a fight and the opponent didn't make it to the hospital and he died on the trip there. Or after a fight, he and his opponent would be so injured and he just didn't want to have that anymore. So he took up a more peaceful lifestyle and pretty much would follow this for the rest of his later life. But that didn't stop him from training and constantly learning new techniques and teaching them to the younger generations to come. And we can see this in a lot of different styles. You can see all of his teachings in it, especially Motobu Ryu and other styles, and Shori Ryu, all different styles that incorporate a lot of what Motobu taught, including Ishin Ryu, which comes back to us. Now, there was a widespread rumor that Motobu actually only knew one kata because he practiced it so religiously. Neihachi kata we've covered before, but Motobu really liked this kata because it did two things. It really allowed him to practice his bunkai, which is the really studying a move to understand why we do something, and it allowed him to practice a new type to add on to his Jisen. A lot of his fights, apparently, were involving around the core principles that make up Neihachi, the acting off of shifting your body weight off of your heel, or turning your body so that it reinforces your technique. We see these in the katas that we do, but Neihachi was very good at this. So what did he really change about Neihachi? Because as I mentioned before, he would go through all these street fights and he would keep changing moves so that it would better fit a scenario. So how did he change Neihachi? Well, he would change the dachi. When we see in the diagram here, we have our feet typically in a diagonal pattern, such that we can twist our hips more by kicking off of the heel of the opposite direction we're turning towards. However, Motobu adopted more of his feet being straight forward, whether it's because he had a bigger body, so it was harder for him to really twist and turn, or it was just he didn't really need to have that kind of twisting motion because he literally had so much muscle behind it. either way, it's just one of those slight differences that really can make a big difference, and it really depends on just physically who you are. Now, other things that we take from Motobu are more kumite related or sparring related. Unfortunately, I don't have any videos to show at this time because I don't really have a sparring partner. But rest assured, when the time comes where we're allowed to show off different kumite moves, I would love to show you guys some, because there's a lot of moves that we take from kata, or we can take from kata, that we could apply in kumite, and it's a lot of fun to really figure out, why do we do this move and can we use it somewhere else? Because we've really followed that core belief that Motobu had, that we really have to practice a move in real application to really see how well it works. And so with that is going to be the end of our episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back December 10th talking about Taira Shinken. We were talking about the Weapons Master, all the cool weapons, our bow, our sai, all that cool jazz. But until then, I hope you guys have a good holidays. I hope everyone stays safe, and goodbye.